So back to the conversation, right? Man, y'all got me thinking about so much stuff because as you were talking, something I don't know why bowling pins popped up in my mind.
Okay.
And I heard this analogy before where it's like, yo, we're in this thing where we can't lose as long as we continue to keep the faith. It's like being at the bowling alley but having bumpers on each side. It's like, it don't matter which way you're throwing it, it's going down the lane and hit something.
Period.
So it's like it's between the legs. I'm behind the back with it. I'm right hand with it. You know what I mean? It's just like I believe that's how God sets us up when we walk in faith. It doesn't mean that situations aren't going to happen, that you aren't going to go through trials and tribulations. But it's like, yo, at the end of the day, this is a fixed fight.
Yeah.
And you're going to win.
Period.
But I need you to believe in me, and the way you please me is through your faith. So I'm just thinking about what you said. I'm like, yo, she's speaking facts. These are so many bars in this joint. Like,
Possible to
and
please God.
it's like, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail?
Right.
Ooh.
Like if you walked around like that.
Right.
So that was actually Jay-Z. That wasn't the Bible. But I'm going to give him that one.
It's okay. We're going to ask it to be added in footnote.
Right. But it's like, what if you wake up with that mindset? Like, yo, I feel like the Lord's calling me to create this thing.
Yeah.
How would you approach it if you knew you couldn't fail? Like, would you approach it with excellence? Would you approach it with tenacity?
Right.
Would you have faith? Would you take the risk? You know what I mean?
Wow.
So just,
Because we have to think about it. Abraham and Sarah had been doing the do for 75 years.
I'm talking about
and
doing it,
she
too.
ain't even...
I'm talking
And
about.
she ain't even bust no kind of... So it's like, at what point do you decide that you're going to make... Because this is what we are doing, in essence. We're trying to say that God is a liar. He can't lie.
Questioning his integrity.
He can't deny himself. The Bible says, even if we're faithless, he's still faithful. Even if we give up, he's still like, nah, they're going to come back. Nah, they're going to come back. Like, he is rooting us on, even in the midst of us deciding we're going to deny him. And I love in Colossians, it says, you know, when we pray for wisdom and spiritual understanding, like, we get the knowledge of God to be able to know that we can do every good work. A lot of us forget that as creatives, when we invite God into this space of, I need wisdom, I need knowledge, I need understanding, it says in James, like, you can't ask God for wisdom and then still believe that the world's wisdom is right. It's either one or the other. So when we pray to God, like, God, help me with wisdom on how to write this book, on how to invite people in, on how to release music, the moment our obedience and our faithfulness is solely centered on him, it's like, I don't know. It's like you can't have a left shoe without the right shoe. The moment that you decide, yo, my faith is fully in God, it's foolproof. You ain't finna fail. Finna, that's a Florida word. You ain't finna.
You ain't finna fail.
You ain't finna fail. Okay? And so I think can I ask questions? Oh, okay. I know, you know what I'm saying? I'm always that kid. But so what is it that you guys use? How do you guys use your faith in moments where you feel inspirationless? Like you like,
that's good.
I ain't like when you had them 3 letters.
Yeah.
You knew you needed 100.
I knew I needed 100. I said, bro, I don't know how this is going to get done.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So I recently found myself in like a really big financial trap, and was really. It's funny that you say this because the timing is just crazy. So last month, the month of July, my company had nothing booked. It didn't happen on purpose, but it was nice because I was able to take some time off and, you know, relax a little bit from working a lot. So, however, I fell into like a really big hole financially that I started to think about, you know, should I break my lease and like move in with family, or should I get a roommate? Like all these things that I had to really figure out quickly, because if not, I was afraid that I was going to be stuck and it wouldn't be good for a pretty long time. And I'd be playing catch up and all that, you know, yada, yada stuff. Anyway, I was interviewing for roommates and, you know, talking about getting some help from family members and seeing what my options were, like all within like a span of like a week and a half. And then something happened. God happened, right? And if you know, shout out to DJ Khaled and his new album, because you're just thinking, right?
God did. God,
you know, if I didn't believe in myself, God did. You know what I mean? Because I literally was to the point of like saying, you know what, man, Mike, you can't do it. You know what I mean? And I spent like a year really just trying to build on myself independently. And I got to this point and I said, come on, you can't fail now. You know what I mean? and I was inspirationless, and faith did it, back on my feet, like in a matter of weeks, and like I'm not going anywhere, and forget about a roommate because I'm good with just me and my dog, like,
What's your dog name?
Arya.
Arya.
Yeah, Game of Thrones.
Okay.
I like that. That's better than my dog.
But shout out to Arya, by the way. She's home right now too.
Watching TV.
But yeah, that was something that had happened to me, and I think that it kind of reboosted and refueled, this kind of goes back to his question. Well, how do we keep ourselves, staying inspired and keeping the creative momentum going? And for me, it's really connecting with other people. If it wasn't for me speaking or talking or seeking advice and finding like just different opinions and like, having conversation and communicating with people, I feel like I wouldn't be able to drive my purpose. And my purpose really is to touch anyone I can possibly touch through words, and emotion, even if it's for a moment. A plane ride with a stranger sitting next to me and we just happen to have a conversation about something. How do I leave these moments and I leave an impact or leave something on the table for people to walk out with? You know what I'm saying? What does that look like? It could be anything. So that moment, to answer your question, that I found myself in that space. And then what really helps me keep going is continuing to connect, and I wrote this in a song recently because I was kind of frustrated in the times where I felt like I was meeting people, but I wasn't getting anything out of them. They were just getting everything out of me. Sometimes you feel like energy's just being pulled out of you, and you're not getting anything back, and you start to really feel drained, And I said, everything Satan admitting is needing more healing than I could provide. What do I look like? God? I found myself in that moment of like I'm not God. Stop coming to me.
It's a bar.
But honestly, he's talking through me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's using me as we're his tools, we're his vessels, we're his...
Right.
You know what I mean? But we have to be honest with ourselves sometimes, and that's where we find ourselves in those little bubbles in our angry moments, and our emotions kind of get staggered. And I really felt like everything I was providing was everything these people needed, and I should embrace that. I was here for a reason in this moment, and but I also felt like that maybe Satan was pulling me down, pulling my energy down, fighting against God, So anyway, I don't know where you want to take this.
No, that was good. Because I started thinking,
like,
I was like, man, people become dependent on us and not dependent on God.
Yeah.
That's something I had to do with my family. It's like I had to take them off of the baby milk. Like, all right, I'm not God. Like, first of all, I got a whole wife and soon to be. So it's like, we got to figure this out.
Yeah.
And while I can be a support, I can't be just your crutch. You know what I mean? Because people aren't getting better and growing. And just to answer your question, for me, it's remembering that he's done it before. So for me, I always go back. Don't you know, right? So I always think like, okay, every situation, every scenario, he's always made a way. No matter how dark it's got. I've had one of those moments like you where it's like, yo, like 2 months, I ain't speaking, I ain't flying. Like, this is crazy. Like, what's going on?
Right, yeah.
Like, what happened is just like, I need you to be dependent on me because you started to trust in your own ability that I've given you anyway. Like, not for nothing, dude, you're an introvert, but you speak in front of crowds all the time. It's like, that ain't true. That's me.
Yeah.
So it's like you forgot and you started feeling yourself. It's like, okay, let me pull it back a little bit so you can become dependent on me.
Yeah.
Right.
Surrender yourself. And it's like, I got you.
Yeah.
But I always had you. But I just need you to keep your focus here. They
Right.
started to go over there because the likes were coming in. People were clapping. And it's like, no, take those roses and go ahead and just offer them up. So that's where I was. So for me, whenever I get in those spaces and I need to get that inspiration, it's like, okay, you've done it before. You'll do it again. I can actually let go, the perceived thought of, the control that I thought I had. Because I ain't really got control anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, but I can let go and be like, okay, you know what? I ain't tripping. You got it.
Yeah.
I'm going to just be obedient and I'm going to stay as focused as I possibly can by removing the distractions that always bring me down anyway.
Yeah.
And from there, it clears up anxiety, all of that stuff. And I'm back locked in. And like I said, he always makes a way. And it's just like, got it. I don't know why I was tripping. You know what I mean? My fault. My fault, big dog. I'm tripping.
You.
It ain't you.
Right,
It's
right.
me. You know what I mean? I be out here, just stuff going on.
Yeah.
So that's how I do it. You know what I mean? What about
Fight
you,
with
Mike?
the man in the mirror.
Right.
So the one way is like what you said. He's done it before, so I know he could do it again. Like we said in the last podcast, I trust God fully. Like with my life, my people's life, my friends' life, everything. I trust God because I understand that what He has for you is bigger than what we can imagine. But the second way, this is gonna sound weird, but sometimes God like kills my inspiration because He wants me to sit down. Like sometimes I'm overworking myself and not really like putting in effort or like trying to like deliver a message like through my art. So He tells me to sit down so you can refocus, so you can give it all you have. Because like, I mean, I could put out 15 videos, but one of them will be impactful. The other one will just be laughs or what have you. You feel what I'm saying? But like sometimes God will have to sit you down just so you can understand and you can like reconnect with Him, so you can understand how you can live your purpose through whatever He has for you.
Because I think a lot of people forget that, like, if God wanted to populate the entire earth with a snap of a finger, He could have. He made
Facts.
one man and one woman and said, this is good. This is enough. God is the definition of quality over quantity. He's the first person we can see do that. If He wanted to make 10 planets, if He wanted to do everything in one day, right? He didn't even need a week. He's like, you know what? But we have to be able to see that clearly there was something important to Him to pace Himself. And for me, great little intro into my own, how I stay inspired is I pace myself because I'm just like you. I could go like my wonderful husband, he slows me down because
He said, yeah, she can go.
I can,
Back like,
I can just literally like just never stop. Like I used to make jokes, but be like, I wish I could just be battery charged. Like I didn't need to sleep. I could just plug myself into the charger and still work while I'm charging. Like, and I have to pace myself. That's the only way I stay inspired. And there would be days I would try to cram a whole project, a whole website design, everything into one day. I'm like, by the time I get done, I don't like anything that I created because I didn't pace myself.
right.
Yeah.
I thought that I was doing better by doing more. And because I thought I had more output, I was doing something good. When in actuality, when I did take a step back and provide myself that space of rest to kind of encourage my pace, when I went back and looked at it, like, yo, this is trash. Like, it was just not. I'm clearly reliving a few scenarios at this
Can't
moment.
believe I created that. What was I
Listen,
thinking?
this is hideous. But when I say, you know what, I'm actually just going to create for this amount of time. And I think as Christian creatives, because that's what I'm just going to say, faith creative, ultimate creative, whatever. I am, I say this with a hard conviction, not a person that encourages the hustle and pray mentality. You need to rest. You need to depend on God. If you could hustle and do it yourself, what would you need God for? That's why they try to build the Tower of Babel. We don't need to try to have a relationship with God. If we just build a big old bridge and tower, we could just reach the heavenly. You know what I'm saying?
Good money.
And so when we do have a rest, when we do have a pace, like we're able to do that. But in today's society, that's not successful. You need to always be doing something.
I got so much to say about that. You just struck a nerve. Because I'm in the industry that I'm in, you have speakers, inspirational speakers, motivational speakers. Nothing drives me up a wall more than when I hear a speaker get on stage and it's grind, 24/7. Have you looked at the definition of grind? Like, do you know anything about the grind? You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where it's like, it's such a counterproductive message. It's like, I had to learn the hard way that rest is actually productive. And I say the hard way because I had to go to the emergency room from exhaustion.
Yikes.
Like passed out. They thought it was the flu. They thought it was COVID. Come to find out, I was like depleted. My kidneys was all out of whack, and it was all exhaustion from work, and no rest.
Yikes.
And I had to learn the hard way, like, oh, rest is productive. Not only that, rest shows your faith. It's like, can you rest long enough to allow me to operate, or do you feel like you got it? Because I'm gonna let you. If you feel like you got it, go do you.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know you're gonna burn out. Like I just want to let you
Right.
know.
Right.
But it's like, can you have enough faith to sit back and be like, okay, take a little Sabbath rest here. I'm gonna take a few days off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you do your thing. And I promise y'all, no lie, and I'm not making this up. Every time I've done that since that incident when I passed out in my bathroom, thank God my wife was home.
Come
'Cause
on.
if I was at y'all house,
Shout
this would
out,
have been bad.
shout out to the wife.
Shout out to the wife for being home. Because your boy was all hands down, like it was the whole game messed up. It's like literally after that, I was like, I gotta start taking this serious. And my therapist said to me, she's like, look, what's gonna happen is this. Christian therapist too, she's amazing out in Philly. She was like, success isn't about to stop. The things that God wants to do with you isn't about to stop. Only way it stops is if your body gives up. And I remember about to like drop a tear when she said that. And from there, I started to be very intentional about my rest. Probably more intentional about my rest than I was about my work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I'm in that same
as
boat.
soon as I started to do that, when I say opportunity after opportunity after opportunity would come in the periods where I was resting.
Yep.
Emails would just be falling and boo boo, hey, we want to bring you here this. I'm just like, what is going on? And it's like, I'm trying to show you that this is productive as well. Like, you're not allowing me to be me. You're trying to be me and you can't. And it's like, yo, that's a message for creatives out there, especially for those of you that are trying to, quote unquote, get on or get your stuff out. It's like, look, work hard, be focused in your work,
Yep.
but rest.
Yeah.
Like, it's so important that you rest because inspiration comes from that. You need to recover.
Yeah.
We constantly thinking, we got a million thoughts and different ideas. And it's like, when do you have time to rest and really gather that stuff? Or are you constantly working?
Right.
Especially in this economy where it's like, oh, you need to get the dollar. It's like,
we in a recession.
we're in a recession. It's
No,
just
no,
like,
no.
oh my gosh, the world's on fire. This is just like, breathe. Like, God's still in control.
Yeah.
And he has a plan and a purpose for your life. But you're not going to reach that if you burn out before you even get to that. And a lot of
Yeah,
people burn out.
What I found is like even as a creative or a business entrepreneur, or, for just business minds in general, like transparency is huge, right? So if I have clients that are waiting for videos to be edited and delivered, and I know I'm falling behind on my edits because I may have been overbooked or had way too many edits on my plate, I'll be transparent. I will shoot a text and say, I ain't making it to this video edit till Thursday, or I'll let you know as soon as I start. I'll always be open in my communication with my clients because I think it's important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if I know, like Nate said, I need my rest.
Yeah.
Because I found myself last year too in that same boat where I was no days off for 4 months, literally. My day job,
remember that.
working in the evenings, editing, and then on the weekends shooting weddings back to back to back. Sometimes 2 or 3 events a day.
Wow.
You
I
know?
remember that.
Remember that?
Yeah,
And,
that was crazy, bro.
And then I had to edit all these weddings. And it's January and I have nothing booked. And now I have to sit in front of a computer and edit for, 12 hours, 13 hours to make sure I deliver a product.
Oh my god.
So I had to really sit with myself and be honest and truthful with my client and say, listen, I don't want to be delivering something that I'm not giving you my full, attention to detail. It's your moments, it's your memories for a lifetime. If you got to wait an extra 2 or 3 weeks, it's going to be worth it for you. You know what I mean? Guarantee this is your day, your special day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Work with me, I'll work with you.
Yeah.
And the most important thing for me was to make sure that I was starting to get that rest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then because you're going to feel uninspired. You're not going to want to sit in front of that
And then it's
computer
gonna
to
be
edit
daunting, like, I don't wanna do
edit
this no
somebody's
more.
wedding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not going to want to. And how much respect are you really giving that individual that booked you and trusted your service and, was looking toward, looking forward to seeing
That's
their
facts.
All
those
because
moments.
you wasn't responsible.
Right. Yeah.
and that's with anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How are you going to deliver your message to the students who need it if you're not resting? Because the schools are like, we need you here on this day, and then I need you at my other school on this day, and you're not being respectful to yourself because ultimately you're trying to respect the service that you're providing to to the youth,
Yeah.
or the teachers, or the parents.
Yeah.
That's so true. That's
You
so
know
true.
what I mean? So rest is super important, I think, for anyone to find themselves in the most in their most creative state. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Pastor Drake said, when I'm done having fun with it, I'm done with it.
That's
the trick.
Right. So let me ask y'all this, starting with you, Mike. When do you know you about to hit that level where it's like, oh, I need to chill out? Because of course I'm one of them people, like, I'm extra, so it's like I'm gonna push it a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do 1 or 2 more reps. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get one more out. Like, that's for sure. I'm gonna push it just a little bit above the. You know what I mean?
a little more oxygen to the brain.
Right. Right. But I now know my limit. So for you, you know, and all of you at this point, what's that limit right there where it's like, okay, hold on, I need a few days off from all of this. Like, what's that look like for you?
So for me, it's like when my art starts to affect my outside life, I have to take a break.
Ooh.
What does that mean?
Yeah, that was
So like,
yeah.
so like if the way I'm treating the people that I'm around shifts, it could be because I'm tired and I'm like overworked and I'm upset because now I have so much going on. It's stressing me out. So now I'm going to stress you out. You feel what I'm saying? So like when
You gonna feel this too.
Right.
That's really how it goes with me. So like when life is like too overwhelming, I know I have to take a step back. And I literally just sent out one of them texts this morning too.
Yeah.
I said, I told you Tuesday. It's looking like Friday
Looking
today.
like Friday.
It's looking like Friday.
Work with me, not against me.
Yeah,
It's
because
gonna be
like
fire when you get it.
That's
dude.
it.
I promise you.
'cause if you want the best, you have to wait for me because I'm not mentally there yet. I have too much going on right now.
Yeah, it's true.
Right. What about you two? What does that cap look like?
For me, I realized that I've reached it realistically when I can't find time to spend with God. When I look at my week and I look back and I say, how many days per week? Because I'm okay? My husband would tell you, I will leave. You will not find me for a few hours every morning, like, because I'm with God. When I look back at my week and I realize that it's been 3, 4, I don't go more than 3 days. At that 4th day, if I haven't spent at least an hour, something's off. Something is wrong. And I don't mean an hour of like, oh, I'm flipping. No, I mean an hour of intentional, God, it's just me and you right here face to face reading my word, whatever. If I hit that 4th day, that means I did something wrong to set myself up here because I'm very intentional.
Who notices it first, you or is it this a you thing?
Um,
Like, so she started wilding out and you just like, hold on, you need to spend more time with that.
Yeah, I think I feel it first, but it definitely hits him first.
Yeah.
It hit because when my schedule gets crazy, I don't communicate. I start making decisions for us. Look at me, right? Doing the marriage counseling thing. That's the G. You gonna see this. But yeah, like I start not communicating. I start making decisions for us instead of with him, and I just keep going and not. I drag him along my life instead of living my life with him when I'm doing too much. And nobody want to be dragged along nowhere, okay? So he starts to respond like that. And then, but it does hit me first because I can have a lot on my plate and I can handle it with God. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You know what? Coffee cup scripture of the year. And I believe that wholeheartedly. So when I start feeling like, wait, I can't do this. I used to struggle with imposter syndrome, right? So when I feel that rising up and I can't push it back down, I'm doing too much. Like I haven't spent enough time there for the Holy Spirit to just immediately be louder than that. I'm not feeding it enough. I'm feeding this world more than I'm feeding my own soul. And so when the world gets loud, my soul is too weak to say something back. And then, you know what? I done sent them emails and stuff before, but like definitely, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna have to say no to this, or not even just pushing things back,
Saying
like
no is
straight up
important.
saying no.
Sometimes
so
you
much
have to. It's
power
the
in
most
no.
important. So
So much power.
I kind of like the few things you guys mentioned. One thing that really sticks out to me is time, right? Time, the word time. Like, really, what does that mean for everybody? And again, it brings the art in me and something that I penned a little bit ago. I said, I started off the year saying everything I won't be. I told my mom that I'll see her, 3 times a week. I haven't seen her once, and here we are going week 3. I got friends with losses. Any moment they'll trade with me. All of this time I've been disrespecting, relationship neglecting, thinking I'm proving something, but all it is flexing, all because of fear. Right? Like,
He's a lot of bars.
Every
That's all
lot
I
of
know.
bars.
Everything.
I gotta
You
You
tap
gotta make that
in.
nasty face.
I
I gotta
there's a lot of
tap
bars
in.
just like
I tap in.
Like
Small
everything
slime
you
pistol.
guys are talking about is like everything that I've in this journey of even just within this year have been growing into being better
so good.
at.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I try to, when I know I've reached my threshold, is when I feel like I'm disrespecting time. I'm neglecting relationships,
Wow.
like seeing my mother
Disrespecting
or spending
time.
time with my
Wow.
brothers or answering text messages to my close friends, or when I see that I fall into those traps of I'm too busy.
Yeah.
You can never be too busy for the people you love. You know what I mean? Or doing what you love. And you find yourself like fighting this balance of, I really don't want to do this, but I love it. But then I really want to spend time with my friends and my family, but I love them. But I have this stuff that you really gotta find the balance, because, really time and time is our greatest asset. Time is a gift, a gift
Tell
from
the
God
students all the
every
time.
day. You know what I'm
the
saying? When
time.
you wake up in the morning, thank you, God, for another day, another
Yeah.
beautiful day to be here and kind of move and walk on this planet. You know what I mean? And serve. That's for me. Time is like one of my biggest drivers, and I think that when I've reached that kind of that threshold of I'm not treating it the way it deserves, it's time for me to fall back and
So
bird's eye view. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, so I'm very so I have a little bit of both. So for me, it's definitely the time thing now. Understanding it at 32, it's like really grasping time, but then it's also that connection with God. It's more so like, okay, how many days have I just gone with this little devotional and just dipped out?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, it's a mixture of both. And just speaking of the time thing, I think about the way now that I set my schedule up with bookings and things like that.
Huge.
It's like, man, for me, I find joy and happiness in being around, like I said, the people I love, being around my wife, my closest friends, my brothers. Like, I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
And like that's what fulfills me. That's what fills me up. So it's like, if you're gonna bring me out somewhere, you're not paying me just for the service. You're paying me to leave the people I love.
Yeah.
So there's a different level of value with that, and I have no problem quoting this price.
Yeah.
Because you're paying me to leave and I can't get that time back.
I got no problem quoting what he just said. Like actually quoting
real.
that.
That's for real.
At the bottom of the invoice.
Yeah,
Please
right,
remember
right.
that you are paying me to leave the people that I love. Thank
Their
you.
names are right.
The
That,
check
but that's
memo
a real
needs
thing,
to be paying for you
real.
leaving your loved ones.
Right.
though. Right now, that's serious. My mentor has me on that. He's just like, no, they're not paying
deep.
you just for some message to come out there and
Yeah.
no. They're paying you to leave the people you love the most, like your family.
Mm.
These are moments you can't get back. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? I can't pay for another day.
Yeah.
that's
Right? I
deep.
can't be like, yo, I got 500,000. Can I get 2 more days? It's like, no.
Yeah.
You can't. So it's like I need to value all of this time that I have
Right.
and treat it, like you said, with respect.
Mm-hmm.
That's so good.
So for me, when I feel like I'm doing that, where I'm just squeezing time and I'm wasting time, it's like I don't believe in wasting time. That doesn't mean I'm out just working all day long, but it's
Yeah.
like if I'm hanging with y'all, that's invested time now.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm investing in friendships. I'm investing in the things that I love to do. I'm investing in having fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
So for me, it's super huge on those things. And when I feel like, again, I'm not spending that time with God,
Yeah.
because I'm the same way. I wake up early. I'm a 4 or 5 in the morning type of person. So
Yep.
once it start getting 5:36 and I'm just trying to squeeze out the door by this time, and it's like, all right, hold on, let me slow down
Yeah.
and let me see where this other time and this energy is going.
Yeah.
Because this is actually where I charge up. This is where I get the insights and the downloads, is during this quiet time.
Yep.
And my wife knows that too. So she'll nudge like, oh, you ain't getting up. It's just like, nah, I gotta hit the snooze one more time. Like,
15
it's,
more
let me get
minutes.
15 more. And it makes me more tired, honestly.
Yeah, it's
like
worse.
hitting the snooze, like, bro, just get up.
It does. It
So for
definitely
me,
does.
I'm very similar in the regards of like, okay, 2-3 days in a row, we need to figure something out here.
Yeah.
Or I feel like I'm just wasting so much time. It's like, all right, I need to figure this out.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, you have to teach people how to respect that time by
Yeah.
saying no.
Others. Yeah.
saying
Yeah, because
Sometimes you
people
gotta-
won't respect it. And it's not that they're being malicious about it. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, you don't respect time. Cool. Let me teach you.
Right.
And I got to show you.
Regrettably, that's a new word I learned this week as well. Not learned, but learn how to
Regrettably.
use it. Regrettably, I cannot. I decline.
That's going in the emails.
Oh yeah.
Regrettably.
Oh, I love hitting them with the nice jargon and the boop boop boop. I love what you said about that's the disrespecting time, because
That's
the
fire.
one
Yeah, I ain't gonna
thing
hold you.
God didn't give us an unlimited amount of was time.
Time.
He said, y'all get 24 hours,
I'm saying.
period. I could give you money, I could give you resources, I could give you whatever, but you will not get more than 24 hours in one single day. And one of
Wow.
the things that I think, and now we often think real hard because I already got my answer. But no, I would question, how do you guys think, or what is a characteristic or a concept of respecting time? Now, here's my answer. My answer would be including margin. That was something that I had to learn. This is how I'm going to respect my time. If I have a meeting that ends at 11:30, I'm not going to schedule another meeting. Pushing it is 12. Pushing it. But my preferred time would be at minimum 12:30. But if I need to squeeze something in, you know what? Whatever. And then if something gets canceled, not filling that time, right? So saying like, hey, my 11:30 canceled, so I'm not going to try to move my 12:30 up. I'm not going to try to do something in that moment. But you know what? Actually, this might be a gift from God, because that's the only thing we can't give back is that time. And so how do you guys see yourselves, or what are some tips that you can give other creatives for how to respect their time?
Wow. Well, my first one is what you just said. I'm still in that. That was good. That was really good.
My bad. We ain't got to slide past
For
it.
me, I don't know how practical this is as much as it is just truth. It's like God don't owe us more time. And that's really how I live my life. It's like he doesn't owe me another day. And I talk to, I'm in school, sometimes it's college students, a lot of times it's high school students. And I'm like, just because you're young don't mean you're going to be here next year, next week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everything has had like so many different things are happening. And it's like your arrogance makes you think that God owes you another day.
Yeah.
So you're just going to blow this day away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, I never want to disrespect God in that way where it's like, I'm arrogant. Like, I know next week out this. It's like, no. Today. Like, I'm on a Nike, just do it. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not about to sit around and be arrogant. Like, oh, you owe me more time. You know what? When I get 50, I'm thinking about, it's just like, fam, we don't know.
Right.
Now, granted, I'm praying that I live long, prosperous, see grandkids. That'd be beautiful, right?
Amen.
The way we all wanted to be with them at the bedside, me holding like, this is my last moment. I would love that to happen. You know what I mean? That'd be great. You know what I mean? That'd be dope. But at the same time, I understand that I don't know what's going to happen. I have no control over that.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't want to be arrogant in a way, and I don't want to disrespect God in a way where it's like, oh, you owe me more. It's like, you don't owe me you don't owe me the stuff I have now. You don't owe me the time that I have now. So for me, I live my life that way. So for creatives, especially young creatives, it's like, realize like we're on borrowed time. And unfortunately, none of us know when that time is up. We all got our own little sand clock somewhere flipped upside down, and we just don't know.
Yeah.
So we need to maximize on the time and the days that we have. And I believe that when we do that, we live in the present moment and we live in that way. Anxiety flees us, depression flees us, and we can be as focused as we possibly can and really enjoy all that life brings in. And a lot of times people are on autopilot, you know what I mean? So they miss so much that's going on. That's why you hear people like, oh, time is flying. Yeah. It's like, it's not really flying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's actually just moving the same way every single day. You know what I mean?
Still
because
60 seconds in a minute.
Right. Because a minute to somebody who's under the water about to die seemed like forever. You know what I mean? But a minute somewhere else seems like a second. So it's like, it's not flying. It's about you just being present and realizing like, oh, every moment is valuable. My time is valuable.
Right.
It's not just my dollars.
Yeah.
It's my time, it's my energy. So that's where I'm at with it. What about y'all? I know it's a little heavy.
That was deep. I mean, that like soaked me in. Like I was
Everybody's
like,
borrow time.
He said I was out here borrowing. I ain't gonna make it the next week. It's like, that ain't what he said. Watch the tape back.
No, that's good. That's
Right.
really good.
Mike.
Mine isn't that deep at all. I'm just gonna come out and say that.
Nah, give it to
But
us.
now mine is similar to yours though. I just like marginalize like my time. Like my calendar is very like to the hour. Like I know exactly what I'm gonna do at each point of time. I even have this is funny. I have a time on my calendar for each day, and the title is "Boy, if you don't rest." So I literally
That's
just sit
awesome.
around and I don't do nothing for maybe like 30 minutes or something like that.
What?
Because like I know I will just
30 minutes.
I mean, see, but I like to work though, so I don't want to be far away from the work. I just want to get myself used to a little vibe. Do you feel me? Just chill.
Feel that.
But yeah, I think that's one of the things that I had to start doing. And since I've been chilling with Nate, he had me like really understand the value of resting because he rests a lot
Yeah.
and I don't rest. I just like to keep going. I'm
Let's
always
change.
on.
Let's change the narrative. You're coming into understanding how to rest better.
Oh, there we go. I like
They
that.
said, "Can we book you?" Said, "No, I'm resting." Sorry.
Yeah.
That was rude.
You know, there's some life in that.
Resting
statement.
period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do I respect time?
You brought it up, so yours got to be the deepest.
Right.
I think it's definitely a consistent battle. It's something that it's a journey that I'll be on for a lifetime because as a business owner, I have to understand that I have to also respect other people's time because like their time is borrowed. Although I might need an extra week or two, I have to understand that they're waiting. You know what I'm saying? I have to understand that their time could be limited and they might not see an opportunity for something, for me to deliver something. Like I have to just understand that life has its time, right? It has its moments and so I think I look at it in a bunch of different ways. I respect time by doing things like not allowing myself to give a quick answer when I don't know. So if
Ooh, that's good. Yeah,
if someone
yeah.
asked me, "Hey Mike, can you be here at this on Saturday, on Friday," or I'll let you know
Yeah.
because I need some time to digest that,
That's good.
check my calendar, see what's going on,
That's really good.
surrounding that the next day.
Yeah.
Is it something I even want to afford to do? And not but with money, but like my time.
Right, because you're leaving your loved ones.
Right, you're leaving your
Come
loved
on,
ones.
Come on, I'm telling you. Don't hit my line.
So I think that I've built that into myself because I was one that would never say no. And I was shooting I don't know if it was a wedding. Well, there was one wedding that I shot where someone said that, "Michael, you're too cheap, right? You're too cheap. You need to charge more." And I was like, "Wow, okay, that's nice." And then there was another event where someone told me, "If you're saying yes to everything that you're getting, like people are reaching out to you to book you for, you're too cheap." You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like I need to be declined. Like here's my quote. I need to be declined. I need to respect my value and where I'm at and allow myself to find myself growing and moving up the ladder and whatever pyramid that you as a business, whatever you're doing. And with that, there had to be those moments where I say no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Can you do it for this much? No, I can't.
Yeah.
It's just for me, leaving my family, whatever that looks like for everybody. It's not worth my time.
Yeah.
That's
That's good there.
And
What's your time worth?
yeah, and with that, it's again, I think it's just it's a constant growth and journey that I'll be on. But as long as I keep reminding myself, and we have those daily affirmations and reminders that we're here for a purpose to serve, and we're always going to have those things that we have to juggle, the barriers in the bowling alley, and it's not going to be easy to get to the pins. You're going to hit those.
Yeah.
That's good, man. That's good.
Yeah.
Why be anxious? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why stress yourself out?
Listen,
So what the word say? You can't add another
day.
Another day.
Why worry about tomorrow?
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's been so many.
We're now,
This
yeah.
conversation has been fire. I'm not gonna hold you. It's probably been like one of the best conversations. This has been great and probably the longest, obviously.
Really.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
It's a two-parter though. We lit.
It's a two-parter. Yeah, so y'all part of the new two-parter.
Okay.
nice.
Man, so this has been just a episode filled with so many gems, so much wisdom, and incredible dialogue. First, I want to just thank both of you
thank you for having
for your
us.
time, for your energy, because again, I know how valuable that is. We know how valuable that is,
Right.
and for y'all to invest it right here, I believe that this message is gonna impact somebody. If not when we first drop it, it might be a week from then, 2 weeks, it might be a couple of years from then.
Yeah.
But there's going to be something that one of you shared, one of us shared, that's going to sit with somebody and live with them. And that's going to inspire them and hopefully inspires them in the right way where they take action.
Yeah.
And they apply some of the stuff we talked about. So look, if you're tapping in, Make sure that you subscribe, that you share, leave us a review, jump in the comments. We want to hear from you. What did you take away from this? What were some of your favorite points, some quotes, some thoughts? We're always looking to grow, and make sure that you subscribe to our Patreon for more content. We're going to be dropping different things, different videos, all types of stuff coming from that Patreon. So we're excited to have you be a part of that family for Being Me is Dope. And with that being said, my name is Nate.
My name is Keej.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Mike.
I'm Michael. And I'm Mike. And this has been another episode of Being Me is Dope. And remember that being you is dope as well. Peace.
But hold up, before you click out, follow the Instagram right here.
Oh, right there.
Right there.
Right there.
Now we out.